Hello everyone, we're talking about the muscles of facial expression today. We're actually going to go through all the muscles that are listed here, and we're going to do it in a very unique way. This is a study hack that is so powerful and so easy to incorporate into your daily routine because it's all about routines. And what it does, it incorporates kinesthetic learning with spaced repetition that's built into your everyday schedule, so it's super easy to incorporate. So what you're going to do is think about if you have a skincare routine or a makeup routine or a shaving your face routine, any of those routines will work. What you are going to do is consciously think about the expression, the muscle that's involved, and origins and insertions, right? And that is what you're going to practice every time you do this routine. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's a bit cringy. I'm just warning you now because I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not a fashion person. I'm just doing this in the name of learning and to help you really master this information. So, for example, when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is look in the mirror and I am shocked. Okay, I'm exaggerating a bit, but I am a bit shocked, right? Because I am engaging my frontalis muscle to give me that surprised look because my skin looks so bad and I'm getting old, essentially. Okay, and then after that, it becomes a frown. This is where the procerus muscle is engaged and the corrugator supercilii is engaged because I see wrinkles and blemishes and maybe a zit or something. I'm like, oh, goodness me, right? Now I go, all right, let's get my foundation and get to work so I can look a little bit more presentable. And I noticed that I think I have a zit on my chin. So I engage my mentalis muscle, which is right here, and I do a little pout. And this helps me access a spot on my chin that is needed to be covered. There we go. There we go. We have covered my zit with some foundation. Okay, that looks a bit better. Now I go, all right, that looks all right. Let's pop some eyeshadow on because, you know, life is just a lot more fun with eyeshadow. So I'm going to grab some here. I'm going to engage my orbicularis oculi, close my eyelids and pop some eyeshadow on. There we go. All right, got my eyeshadow on. It's time for lipstick. Yep. So I typically put lipstick on my lower lip, so I'm going to engage my Depressor Labii Inferioris and depress that lip down. Okay, now I want to pop it on the top lip, so I'm going to engage my Levator Labii Superioris to elevate that top lip. Okay, now it's time to spread my lipstick, so I need to sort of purse my lips together. And that is my Risorius muscle, which goes from here all the way back to the parotid area. Okay, so got my Risorius muscle working. Now I've got too much lipstick on. Ooh, it's a little too much. So I need to blot it. What I'm going to do is pucker up my lips and engage the orbicularis oris muscle. Okay, blotted my lips. Little bit better now. Okay, now I need a drink. That was a lot of work. So I'm going to engage my Buccinator or Buccinator, depending on how you say it, and have a little drink. So that sort of sucking motion, I was just engaging my Buccinator muscle, and then I'm going, oh, I think I'm almost ready, but I need to put some perfume on. All right, so this is where I would engage my nasalis muscle right here. That would help me flare my nostrils and breathe in the scent. Right, okay, we've got all this. Now, lastly, I'm quite happy with my makeup, but I just want to check I don't have any spinach or anything hiding in my teeth because I just had breakfast and I had this amazing spinach and egg frittata. So let's have a look at that. I'm going to angle my, open my mouth side to side to the left and right and sort of go, okay, and that is my Depressor Anguli Oris. That helps move my jaw and my mouth at an angle. And then I go, oh, what about this top tooth, right? So this is where I do this sort of I can't even do it on the other side. But anyway, that is my levator labii, or Labii, Superioris, Alaeque, Nasi. That is the longest anatomy word ever, I'm convinced. But anyway, that is your Elvis muscle, and I'll show you that later. But that essentially is your makeup routine, right? So you can use the same strategy if you're shaving or if you are just doing washing your face and have a skincare routine. Just actively engage those muscles, and I promise you it will help you learn better. All right, now we're using the mind map to look at how muscles of facial expression impact the mouth. You know, what do they do to coordinate the mouth? So the first muscle we're going to talk about is actually referred to the Elvis muscle. And this is the longest name in anatomy, I'm convinced. Levator labii superioris Alaeque nasi. This actually starts in the medial corner of the eye and then goes to the upper lip, passing the alar of the nose also. And the facial nerve is involved with this muscle. So this enables us to sort of do that snarl look, you know, that Elvis apparently is iconically known for, and that's why it's called the Elvis muscle. The next muscle is a very happy muscle. It is the Zygomaticus minor, which is closer to your eye, and then major, which goes a little further out. And both these muscles start in the lateral aspect of the zygomatic bone, which is your cheekbone, essentially. And the minor goes to the upper lip, whereas major goes to the corners or angles of your mouth, essentially, right, to give you that smiling effect. So those are the first two muscles of facial expression that impact the mouth. So the next muscle is your Risorius, and this actually starts at the parotid gland fascia, which is going to be back here, and then it inserts into the Mentalis, and it enables us to sort of purse our lips, right? Like when you're angry or when you're spreading your lipstick, depending on what you're doing. Okay, and then we've got the next one, which is the Levator labii Superioris. And again, it's all in the name. Levator labii basically means it's elevating your upper lip up, and labii superioris means the upper lip, essentially. So raising the upper lip is what it's doing. Originates in the infraorbital margin of the maxilla, right? And then also inserts in the skin and muscle of the upper lip, which is makes sense. And both Risorius and Levator labii superioris are innervated by facial nerve 7. All right, the next one is a funny one. That's the Depressor Anguli Oris, and it's going to be on either side of your chin, a little bit on laterally, right to your chin. And the origin is in the mandible, and then it goes under the chin. And what basically does, it enables us to move our jaw to the left and right. It's sort of at an angle, right? So opening and sliding your mouth or jaw left to right. Okay, next is the Depressor labii Inferioris. So it's the opposite of this one right here. And this one, remember, depressor means it depresses the lip. Labii inferioris is the lower lip, so depresses the lower lip. And the origin is the mandible, and then it goes under the chin, essentially. So this one is actually going to be right on top of the mentalis, right? And it's going to be medial to the Depressor Anguli Oris. All right, now we've got mentalis right here, which is going to be right in your chin area, and the origin is in the mandible and goes under the chin, facial nerve 7 again. Then we've got the Buccinator or Buccinator. I don't know, I've heard people call it either one. So anyway, that enables you to sort of blow the horn or suck from a straw. You know, that is your our origin is going to be a maxilla and mandible, and insertion is the orbicularis oris muscle, which is around your mouth. And again, your facial nerve 7. Okay, orbicularis oris, very easy. It's again around your mouth and originates in the modiolus of the corner of the mouth, and it goes to the skin of the lips, again, facial nerve. And this enables us to pucker. Okay, nasalis, this is now impacting the nose, and basically what it does, it enables us to flare those nostrils, and the nasalis is in the maxilla area origination, and it inserts obviously into the nasal bone, and we've got the facial nerve that impacts it again. All right, so we did mouth, we did nose, now we've got eyebrows. So starting with the frontalis, this is your raised eyebrows or surprised look, right? And this originates from the epicranial aponeurosis and inserts into the forehead. And again, it's the facial nerve. And then you've got frowning. Remember when I was frowning because I found a zit or wrinkles? That is your procerus. And the corrugator supercilii also does the same thing. So it also helps with frowning. The procerus originates in the nasal bone and the skin of the glabella. So it starts here, but this is the glabella area. So that's where it sort of inserts. And it's the facial nerve that innervates it. Corrugator supercilii is actually here on the medial side of your eyebrow. And then it goes into the skin of the supraorbital margin. And the facial nerve also innervates this. Then we've got orbicularis oculi. I keep getting that wrong. Orbicularis oculi. This enables us to close our eyes. Remember when I was putting eyeshadow on? That's the muscle I was engaging. So origination is the frontal bone and the maxilla and the lacrimal bone. And then it's going to insert in the skin of the orbit, right? And again, this is your facial nerve. So here we have the muscles of facial expression. This is the mind map for that. And you can see it's sort of divided into the muscles that impact the mouth, the eyebrows, and then the nose, which essentially is just one. So some things to remember, that all of these muscles are innervated by facial nerve number 7. And the arterial supply is a little different in certain areas, I believe. So that is something you want to pay a little bit more attention to. And obviously the function is there, origin, insertion, and we have visuals to help you remember all the muscles and what they do. And then the thing I like to do with the mind map is I use it for studying. I'll take a post-it note and just cover the information and then write it on. That's one way, but it's a nice way to give you a big picture of everything involved. So feel free to go to my website and pop your name in if you'd like to download the mind maps for anatomy and physiology. And I will see you next time. Thank you.